Welcome to the Chartered Banker Institute's Thought Leadership Series. I'm Simon Thompson, Chief Executive of the Chartered Banker Institute. Much of today's debate about the banking industry is focused on how to rebuild public confidence and trust in banks and bankers. There can be no doubt that in recent years there have been many things that have gone wrong in our industry, but the fact that some parts of banking and some bankers lost their way in recent years doesn't mean banking can't or shouldn't be built on solid ethical and professional foundations. Banks, after all, have faced financial and ethical crises in the past, but throughout this, a large number of banks and the great majority of bankers have persisted in doing the right things for their customers and communities. And when it's done well, banking does serve many proper and positive social purposes. It allows individuals to save and borrow, it facilitates payments, it helps businesses to grow. In fact, it's the very foundation of modern economic life. Banking should, in my view, be seen by those who practice it and those who rely on it, that is, by all of us, as a profession. To my mind, banking passes the three classic tests for a profession. There's a clear public interest in banking, as we've just seen. There's an asymmetry of information between banker and customer, and that's true not just in the personal and small business banking space, but also with large corporate clients too. And there's a defined body of knowledge and skill required to be a banker. But what is that defined body of knowledge and skill? In other professions, this is clear. All doctors need to study a general medical degree at university before specialising. All lawyers study law before specialising. And all auditors achieve a chartered accountancy or similar qualification before studying for an audit practice certificate. In banking, that general body of knowledge and skill hasn't been codified in recent times, which led us at the Chartered Banker Institute to begin this work in 2008, work that was given greater impetus by the Parliamentary Commission on Banking Standards, which called for all bankers, especially senior bankers, to have knowledge of core banking areas including credit and lending and risk management. Predating the Commission, though, in 2011, we launched, together with the chairs and chief executives of 9 major UK banks, the Chartered Banker Professional Standards Board, the CBPSB, to develop and support the implementation of industry-wide professional standards which set out the professional conduct, that is the values, attitudes and behaviours, and the professional expertise, the knowledge and skills, expected of all professional bankers by their colleagues and by their customers. We've made great progress. Also in 2011, we launched the Chartered Banker Code of Professional Conduct, which now covers more than 350,000, that's more than 3/4 of UK bank employees. And our first professional standard, the Foundation Standard for Professional Bankers, which was launched in 2012, sets out the basic requirements of professional and technical competence needed by all those working in the banking industry, covering areas including the purpose and function of banks, credit and lending, risk management, and crucially, the ethical and professional behaviour expected. To date, March 2015, nearly 120,000 UK bankers have achieved the foundation standard, and almost a further 70,000 have achieved it internationally. That is real progress, and we're on course to reach our target of all UK customer-facing staff in the CBPSB member banks. That's around 200,000 individuals achieving the foundation standard by the end of 2015. Last year, we launched our second professional standard, the Leadership Standard, aimed at bankers with the leadership responsibility for developing and embedding a culture of customer-focused, ethical professionalism consistent with the values, attitudes and behaviours set out in the Chartered Banker Code. Banks are beginning to implement the Leadership Standard this year. So some of the crucial building blocks needed for rebuilding the banking profession are now falling into place. Does this mean that the banking industry has changed and we can now talk about the banking profession again? Not yet, but it does mean the banking industry is changing and the banking profession is re-emerging and rebuilding on a solid foundation of the Chartered Banker professional standards.